hell has frozen over. Completely frozen over. I say that. A part of me honestly sat back and said, you know what? I kind of saw this coming over the last year or so because of the fact that Tucker Carlson has actually put out content that even Jimmy Dore has acknowledged as being more honest than 90% of the rest of the mainstream media. But I still never thought I would see the day. I thought maybe, perhaps, at some time, maybe on the Sunday morning program, we may see Jimmy Dore on Fox News the way Kyle Kalinske came on to Fox News. No. Jimmy Dore made an appearance on the Tucker Carlson show. He went on with Tucker Carlson. And boy, did he shine a bright light on that program. And expose a lot of things that you don't usually hear from the mainstream media. And what's even more surprising, well, some may say surprising, some may say not, is Tucker's reaction to hearing all these things. He certainly wasn't trying to cut Jimmy off. He sat there just like, finally, yes, we got somebody on here saying some of this stuff. Even things you wouldn't even necessarily hear Tucker maybe defend. He certainly didn't sit back and seem to disagree with anything Jimmy was saying. Find that very ironic. But before we get to that clip, I want to cover one more thing on Iowa real quick. I just finished watching a few more clips about that. Just covered Deval Patrick. Coin tosses. Wow. I just literally finished watching a Jimmy Dore clip where he had this particular little clip on his video. Coin toss to decide who's getting delegates, right? Coin toss, as Jimmy Dore points out. You go, bloom, catch, and you see what you got, right? This ass clown flips, catches, oh, here we go. Turns it over. How many times? Sticks his thumb in, moves it around, opens it up, closes it down, and turns it back over again. And it's heads. Oh my God. I just finished saying that the fix was in my last video. Technically, I've been predicting it for some time. But when I covered the whole Deval Patrick thing, I said, hey, fix is in. Bernie, you might as well go ahead and bend over and spread them now. They are about to shove a big old pole straight up your ass. You are literally going to get the old cliche, you are about to get screwed and not kissed. Pure and simple. You're about to get screwed and not kissed. Okay? The DNC, by the time they're done screwing you this time around, is going to probably make 2016 look like an honest election. If this is any indicator of what we've got to look forward to in the primaries ahead. But that being said, I've already given, enough of my thought and opinion on what's going to happen there. I want to play this Jimmy Dore clip over on Tucker Carlson real quick and then give some reaction to that. So let's just take a look.
I'm just picking this out of our head. Here's one. Some of the same people who are regurgitating this propaganda, who are counting the votes in Iowa, are the same ones who spent the last 3 years telling us that Russia was subverting our democracy and that the sanctity of elections was the most important thing in American life. Are you noticing this?
I am noticing that. Apparently, Russians work for Shadow, and they run the Iowa Democratic Party, apparently, because, so, yeah, of course, I was one of the few shows that debunked Russiagate and saw through that, and, that's this is all kind of tied together, because Russiagate is a result of the failure of the Democratic Party to present a platform that gets people who want to vote Democrat off the couch to vote for them. So they can't actually offer them anything because they're beholden to their donors. The same people who control the Republican Party control the Democratic Party. We don't really have two parties, right? So they have to do Russiagate and impeachment and all these these circus shows, right, to distract you from the fact that the Democratic Party doesn't represent workers anymore, that they actually represent big pharma, health insurance, the military-industrial complex, and Wall Street. And that's why all this is happening, and that's why they have to cheat Bernie Sanders, because he's going to upset their game, their money game, and that's why they got to stop him before. The first job of the Democratic Party is to stop the candidate who represents the workers, and then and only then can they turn their attention towards Donald Trump.
So is that why we never have debates about the tax code? We spend a lot of time on bathrooms. We spend a lot of time on these kind of peripheral social issues. But I can't remember the last time someone talked about carried interest. Can you?
Tucker, as Nancy Pelosi is ripping up Donald Trump's speech, she's passing his legislative agenda. So, and also, if you watched closely last night, you got to see her applaud Donald Trump's imperialism when it comes vis-a-vis of Venezuela, right? So, and I know you did good work on Venezuela. We all know these foreign entanglements are just CIA plots to steal resources and give it to American corporations. They admitted so much. John Bolton admitted on Fox News that that's what Venezuela was. So you saw the one-party rule last night. You saw Nancy Pelosi applauding and getting up with Juan Guaido, who is a CIA-appointed puppet leader of the Venezuela. So you saw that's the part I like to call out. That's when they're both in bed with the intelligence community. They're both in bed with the military-industrial complex. And so yeah, you're right. We're not talking about real things.
No.
We're talking about Russiagate. We're talking about a phone to the Ukraine. We're never going to talk about why when the Democrats had complete control of the government, they gave us a right-wing health care plan anyway. Oh, maybe it's because there aren't really two parties. There's one party in America, and they're both controlled by big business.
Jimmy Dore, you're going to take so much abuse for doing this show, but I hope you'll come back. Too few independent thinkers in this world. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure.
And this is exactly why I love Jimmy Dore. How many people do you hear going on Fox News talking about, well, you heard the Russia hoax, obviously. That's a Trump talking point. One that he's actually correct on. They've used that for nothing but propaganda. Even if the Russians were interfering in the elections, they weren't the only ones. And we don't pursue the other actors. We're just using Russia because, hey, fits our propaganda narrative. Okay? So we're going to keep pushing that agenda as long as we can. So you hear Jimmy go on talk about the whole Russia thing, right? But then you start hearing him talk about the CIA. Ooh, the CIA and their regime change and blah, blah, blah. But then that we don't have a two-party system. We have a one-party system. Ooh. Now that's one you certainly don't hear every day on any mainstream media network. If you're hearing that, mark the date on your calendar, because those events come few and far in between. Okay? You don't see them very regular. You don't. If you're on, or one of the people who watch MSNBC, CNN, or any one of those groups or channels, okay, what you then hear is that, oh, the Democrats are the party that you should be behind, the Republicans are corrupt, they're racists, they're blah, 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 blah. Insert your slur against said party. You tune into Fox News, gears are reversed. Republicans represent the working class. They represent blue-collar America. Trump is fighting for your rights. The Democrats are nothing but evil heathens, basically. Okay? They want to remove God from everything. So insert your slur against said party. Same thing. But the point that both can agree on is that, oh, these parties are night and day different. They don't work for mostly the same end goals. No, one wants this, one wants this. That's the superficial bull crap that they keep your mind occupied with. Because what they really agree on behind the scene is more war, big pharma, big donors, lots of money. Money talks, bullshit walks. Okay? They want that money. And that's the only thing they care about. It doesn't matter if there's a D after their last name. Doesn't matter if it's an R after their last name. Really does not matter. They've got the same end game in it. Military industrial complex, DoD contractors, lobbyists, Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, all these people that do all this work with the DoD, greasing those politicians and lining their pockets, keep some war going. Remember, Pelosi, rip, 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 rip to Donald Trump's speech. Yet when we start getting into the imperialist talk, she quit sucking her dentures long enough to get up and give him a nice little round of applause on that one, right? Go figure. Of course. Of course she did. Why? Because her donors have paid her off to support that agenda. Oh, something she actually can agree with the Trump administration on. More war. More conflict. Keep it going. It's great for us. It's great for our interests. Might not be great for the American people, but screw them. Who cares? That's their narrative. And that's why I'm not considering myself a Democrat or Republican. Just not going to do it. I'm not going to sell out. I'm not going to sell out. And from what I'm seeing right now, with this Democrat primary, I most certainly don't intend, if they keep going at the rate they're going, it looks like they're going to completely rig this entire primary, and we're off to one hell of a start down that road. Okay? If it looks like it's going that way, third party for this guy, because I will not vote for a sleazeball, and I don't care if there's a D after their last name or an R after their last name. This guy, don't vote for the lesser of two evils. I said this with David, the Radical Independent. He said we should make this into a bumper sticker. I'm going to start saying it on this channel. I don't vote for the lesser of two evils. I'm just not going to vote for evil. Pure and simple.